Another batch of incumbents are ousted in primary elections. A new CDC director is confirmed by the Senate. And the upper chamber advances their version of stopgap spending legislation. For the week of August 10th, 2026. From Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., this is Health on the Hill. Brought to you by Heart Health Strategies. I'm Matt Duckworth.
As chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee, I worked with colleagues on both sides of the aisle to craft this stopgap funding measure. The continuing resolution that we produced is bipartisan and is supported by the administration.
Kicking off this week's episode with news from Capitol Hill, where the Senate passed the bipartisan Continuing Appropriations and Extensions Act on Saturday in a 90-6 vote. The continuing resolution would fund the federal government through December 11th of 2026, 1 week beyond the continuing resolution advanced by the House of Representatives last month. The package would prevent the Office of Management and Budget's proposed rule regarding federal financial assistance from taking effect during the length of the stopgap spending measure. It also includes language to delay a ban on intoxicating hemp products, which is set to go into effect on November 12th. The White House has issued a statement of administration policy in support of the Senate-passed funding bill. The Senate has now officially begun its 5-week August recess and is scheduled to reconvene on September 14th. The House is currently scheduled to return on August 31st. The chambers must come to an agreement on government funding upon their return in order to avoid a government shutdown at the end of the fiscal year on September 30th.
On this vote, the yeas are 51, the nays are 44. The nomination is confirmed. Under the previous order,
the Senate confirmed Dr. Erica Schwartz to serve as the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Wednesday. Republicans were joined by Senator Tim Kaine, a Democrat from Virginia, in support of her nomination. The CDC has been without a permanent director for almost a year. Schwartz is a career civil servant, having previously served as U.S. Deputy Surgeon General and a Rear Admiral in the Commission Corps of the U.S. Public Health Service. She's departing her most recent job as an executive at United Health Group to lead the CDC.
Under the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Given that you have a unlimited presidential pardon, what is your specific objection that you are making?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
My question was limited to the period of your pardon only. I find your objection unsupported and direct you to answer the question.
On Thursday, the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee voted to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress in an 8-7 party line vote. Dr. Fauci, the former COVID-19 czar and longtime director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, did not answer any questions during his recent hearing on his role in the coronavirus pandemic, invoking his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Fauci argued that the proceedings were an attempt by the chair of the committee, Senator Rand Paul, a Republican physician from Kentucky, to goad him into potential perjury. Paul, who has repeatedly called for criminal charges against Fauci for the mishandling of the nation's COVID response, has asserted that Fauci should not have been able to invoke the Fifth Amendment given his pardon by former President Joe Biden. Under regular procedures, the contempt resolution would next be considered on the Senate floor, where it would require 60 votes to bypass a filibuster. Paul has stated that he instead intends to hand-deliver the resolution to Attorney General Todd Blanche, and U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro. Winding down today, where Senate Finance Committee Ranking Member Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, has written to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. regarding his relationship with the tobacco and kratom industry. The letter outlines how actions by the Trump administration have weakened restrictions on the sale of flavored e-cigarettes and made kratom products widely available in retail stores nationwide. The letter reads, quote, "From kratom and nicotine to pesticides and PFAS, you have yet to draw a line in the sand and buck corporate interests to make America healthy again. Your door is always open for corporate donors with demands and a checkbook," unquote. Wyden also sent letters to executives from Botanic Tonics and Reynolds America about reported handshake deals between the companies and the Trump administration. Final news today, where Representative Sri Thanadar, a Democrat from Michigan, lost his primary to state representative and Democratic Socialist Donovan McKinney on Tuesday. Thanadar, who has served in Congress since 2023, is a member of the Agriculture and Homeland Security Committees. Representative Andy Ogles, a Republican from Tennessee, also lost his primary election on Tuesday, conceding the race to former State Agriculture Commissioner Charlie Hatcher. Ogles was first elected in 2022 and currently serves on the Financial Services and Homeland Security Committees. In related news, Representative Chuck Edwards, a Republican from North Carolina, has dropped out of his re-election campaign, following a recommendation of censure from the House Ethics Committee. The panel asserted that the congressman engaged in, quote, "persistent, unprofessional, and inappropriate conduct towards two young female staffers," unquote. Edwards, who was first elected to Congress in 2022, will complete his term in office. He is a member of the Appropriations and Budget Committees. Thanks again for tuning into this week's episode of Health on the Hill, brought to you by Heart Health Strategies. For more information on this week's healthcare happenings in the administration and on Capitol Hill, you can visit our website at hhs.com and click on the news section at the top of the page. You can subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Did we miss a story you wanted to hear this week? If so, email me at mduckworth@hhs.com, and we may include it in our next episode. Have a great week, and stay healthy.